All right. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. What's up, Jad Ashtelin? Hope you're good. Also hope you're joining us this weekend for some D&D and Futurama and chill. Just saw all the plans and stuff being made in Discord. What's up, Yurimi? We really are so back. Hey, Cola Man. What's up, Nora? Damn, Nub, you are spoiling us this week. 4 whole streams in a row? What is this, 2017? I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm such a failure as a streamer. That streaming for 4 days in a row is such a momentous occasion. What's up, Alki? Finally caught you live. Really enjoy your videos with the Silent Hills and the lore. I'm glad you like it. That's pretty much all I've been doing for the last 10 years or so. Glad you could be here for a live stream. Get to see it in person as it happens. Get to be part of the chat. See all the discoveries being made. Ask questions. Sometimes I'll even have answers. What's up, Rushmore? Continue being an absolute horror. What's up, High Lord Teach? Hope you're doing well. What's up, Twerk Your Way to the Top? Chat is now in positivity mode. Twerk Your Way to the Top. Did you have a username change? Were you previously Twerky Twerky? Or do I have 2 viewers with similar names? Wouldn't be the first time. Rewatch on YouTube. Happy to be here. Nice. Good stuff. Glad you've been enjoying the videos on YouTube. Glad you could be here for a live stream. Coffer81, thank you for that follow. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Enjoying the channel. We're going to be getting back to some more Silent Hill. Thought you were going to ask again if I played DBD. I mean, I'm just going to assume you play DBD. I'm just curious if you're the same twerky DBD player who's already been watching me for a while. Because a lot of times, especially since I haven't streamed in a while, people will change their usernames and I get confused. But yeah, let's get back into some Silent Hill 2. Hey, Yami. Ooh, what the heck? Booting up Silent Hill 2 made my OBS lag. That's the first time that's happened. Cool. Last thing I need is my computer to start struggling. We've already been dealing with tech issues today. My wife Rachel, she was having issues with one of her monitors going out. It's like a 4K monitor that we absolutely don't have the funds to replace or deal with right now. What's up, Let Me Live? Let Me Live Gaming. Did you see Laced Records are releasing Silent Hill 2 Remake limited box LP collection? I did. Sequenced by Akira Yamaoka as well. Really, really cool. I actually retweeted that, or re-skeeted that on Blue Sky, since I'm not on the other side anymore. Get bloobed. Yeah, it happens. Hey, Kolaja. Was just finishing the first Cam Hack VOD and it's 4 a.m. Glad to catch you live. Well, you can watch live and skip ahead to part 4. Go back and catch up on the VODs when you have time, or go to sleep if it's 4 a.m. and you've been waiting to pass out. I don't know. I don't know your life. I'm not your dad. But yeah, welcome everybody. Part 4 of the Silent Hill 2 Remake Cam Hacked playthrough. It's only taken us 4 episodes to finally start making our way to the Woodside Apartments. The first, like, real area of the game. We've had a nice look at pretty much everything around the town except for the Woodside Apartments area and a few things along the way there. See, we even looked around here already. What? Silent Hill isn't real? Of course it's real. It's just in Japan and called Shizuoka. Or old Polish whiskey. Dartboard. Official competition. Arrows. Is this game called Arrows in other parts of the world? I've always just heard it called darts. And play darts? Still no light bulb? Sorry, dog syrup. Still no light bulb. I'm just as disappointed as you. But we're still very early in the game. There could very well be a can with some light bulbs in it at some point. Maybe they're saving it for the hotel. Maybe it's in this can right here. Nope. Nothing rendered. Maybe it's in one of these. Sadly not. Sorry, Novice says, Nub, I have to ask you a question that's been driving me insane. Can we please talk about Maria's shorter middle finger? Sure. It's something that I am aware of about her model. We'll talk about it in like 12 more episodes when we finally meet Maria. And I can use the cam hack to like look at what you're talking about to show people for reference. The backroom letter. He came back after you left. It's fine. He didn't try anything. He just seemed sad. Mumbled something about getting out of town with someone. I wasn't going to let him drive in his condition, so I locked him out. His car should be out back. Maybe check if it's still there by morning. It's the greenish-blue one, plate number ending with 06, I think. And you say you haven't been able to find anyone talking about how weird it is. Definitely peruse through the r/Silent Hill subreddit a little bit more closely then. I guarantee you other people have mentioned it and asked about it. I don't know if it has any particular significance, but it's a thing. Certificate of Accreditation acknowledges that Albert Smith something. Oh, we've got some of these photos already here. That's kind of interesting. These will turn up a little bit later in Brookhaven. So in the last parts, I mentioned that there's a lot of public domain photos from like the Library of Congress that Bloober Team used and then like heavily edited to include in the game like this. So this is an actual photo. It's been edited so that you can't see the patient's face, and some of the details of it have kind of been changed and smudged, just highly edited. But it is from an actual real sourced photograph, a public domain medical photo. And there's quite a few like that. There's a lot of those in Brookhaven once we get that far. Some of these streets. The American Cafe in Silent Hill. Love these sort of like vintage style photos of the town, because these are renders. These are renders of the actual town, just made to look old and vintage. Tassadul, thank you so much for the raid, man. Hope you're doing well today. Miss anything good? No, we've just started. Have only just begun. And actually, I did have some other places to look at. Even though we can get through here now, I guess let's... because this is going to lead to the key. That's going to get me the Woodside Apartments, then the windstorm kicks up. So before that happens... we're going back into the town. Over to Saul Street Apartments again, right next to the apartments. I didn't go into the pharmacy. Oh, we also didn't look at this little area. Same Ephesians license plate there. A lot of vans like this one, but none of them have the like Happy Burger food in empty fast food cups and stuff like the one at the observation deck. One speculated to be Eddie's van. I believe there's a lion figure hiding under here. There you are. Hey Nub Zombie, did we finish the in-depth story playthrough of Silent Hill 2 Remake? No. I needed to take like over a month off to try to get my health in order, and because there was just so much time since I last was doing that playthrough and I basically forgot everything that I was doing or talking about, it's easier for me to just start over fresh. And I was much more interested in starting the cam hack playthrough that we're doing now, rather than continue that, because we'll do many more story playthroughs going forward. It's not as though I only play these games and talk about them once or twice. Eventually I'm going to be playing through it dozens, hundreds, maybe thousands of times. So, I'm letting that playthrough go. There will eventually be a new and better one with even more information than what I knew when I was doing that one. Because every time I do these playthroughs, I learn new stuff. You will see. Sooner or later, you will see. A little drawing that kind of looks like Pyramid Head. Bloody figure in a geometric shape. Checked from 000 to 4013. Took almost 2 hours. Had to run. Checked from 4014 to 4439. Had to run again. I feel like I'm so close now. I just know it. That's our clue to the combination lock to get in the grocery store, which we've already gone into and explored anyway. We have another mutilated James corpse. Look at that. You can see like the stitching and stuff on it. It's like a lying figure wearing James clothes. A little bit different from the other corpses that we've seen so far. Just chilling. Another license plate that we've already seen. Liam 3223. Yeah. Did pull that one up earlier. Previous part. Supposed to be Lamentations, or Lamentations, even though it's L-E-M. I wanted to do a quick check again because there's also a book called the Lemageddon where a lot of demons and religious mythology is written about. And I wasn't sure if that was split into verses similar to the Bible, so I did a quick search, and it is not. Definitely meant, those are meant to be Lamentations. I'm actually going to turn the game audio down just a bit. It's a little bit loud. Still a little bit loud. Feel like I have to adjust my audio every stream, even though nothing really changes. Don't understand it. Can't believe Silent Hill 2 Remake is making me read the Bible more than I did in Sunday school. I mean, I was not... Our family was not religious growing up. So I never like regularly went to church and things like that. I went a couple times when I was a kid just to like have something to do. We used to have like this Sunday school bus come through the apartments where I lived. And I would just get on the bus and go with my friends. Because they were like, yeah, it's great. We sing songs and play games and they give us candy. Which was true. But you also had to sit through a bunch of boring sermons and things like that. So I didn't make it a regular thing. We did used to have this church near our apartments when I was growing up, where one of the pastors, preachers, I'm not sure the official title or whatnot, but he was a skateboarder, and I was big into skateboarding at that time. And after church on Sundays, out in the parking lot, once everybody left, he would set up skateboard ramps and rails and help teach kids to skate. I used to go and hang out in that church parking lot, skating a lot. But no, I've never been particularly religious. I've learned so much about various aspects of religion through Silent Hill and video games and movies and fictional books, you know. I got youth pastored. You know who else hit sick ollies? You know who else could do kickflips? Jesus! Here's a fun reference. This is from the original Silent Hill 2, recreated here for the remake. So we've got fashion envelopes, but their sign says magical envelopes. A little bit of a reference to our own magical envelope. So this letter, Mary's letter, that's definitely Mary's handwriting, is not real. Over the course of the game, it's revealed to be part of James's delusion. First, the writing is gone from the letter. Then the paper that the writing was on is gone. It disappears, and it's just an envelope. And then finally, just the envelope completely disappears from your inventory. So, a little bit of foreshadowing to our own magical envelope. Toluca delivery mail truck. Want to keep checking these out, because eventually there's going to be one of these that has a Jacob's Ladder reference. But it's not this one. I think it's going to be the one closest to Woodside Apartments, which we're on our way over there anyway. Eventually. Barneely's, groovy music, Vandals strike again. A lot of the same newspapers and assets and things that we've seen around already. Silent Hill Post Office. Which is interesting, because this would mean there are 2 post offices in Silent Hill. There's one on this part of the town, because Silent Hill 2 takes place in a whole separate part of Silent Hill. South Vale. As opposed to, like, where Silent Hill 1 takes place. And in Silent Hill 1, the post office, you never go inside of it, but you do go up on the roof and fight a giant moth. You fight the float stinger boss. Nothing like that up here, though. Okay, so that's back to Barneely's. Let's go check out the pharmacy. Since I forgot to go in here last time. Green Pharmacy. I like how we've got the windows and stuff open here since you get to the pharmacy by going through the Saul Street apartments. Normally this is locked, but we can just teleport in here. Boink. Relevmid, Berolmin, Zalprazanax, Imatnelimed. A bunch of fake medications, fictional medications. Although some fans have found there are some like real world medications that are kind of similar to some of these. But yeah. Let's take a little closer look at that receipt as well. Green Pharmacy, 12 Saul Street, Silent Hill, 6/22, 1982. So we've seen a lot of dates and things on newspapers and receipts everywhere from 82 up to 1999. 4:11 p.m. We've also seen a bunch of other receipts like the Texan Diner, where the time on the receipt is 10 past 9. This one doesn't adhere to that same thing. Thanks for shopping. Thanks for shopping with us. Returns with receipt only. Yeah. I need to make a return on this medication. Now, we've got a clock here. 10 past 9 and 15 seconds. Just like the vast majority of them that we'll find. We've already found a couple that are not that time, though. Find peace and looks like happiness. Very, very faded. With a puppy. At first I kind of thought it was an otter. Is 9:10 a specific time? It's a reference to the original Silent Hill 2. The very first puzzle that you have to solve is a grandfather clock in the Woodside Apartments. You have to set the hands to a specific time, and that time is 10 past 9 and 15 seconds. Polyvertanum AB. Assuming like the other medications, that's probably not a real thing, but quick search. And everything is redirecting to poliovirus. You mentioning the float stinger suddenly makes me wonder if that boss's name is an odd reference to Muhammad Ali's float like a butterfly, sting like a bee quote. I mean, the naming convention for a lot of the monsters in Silent Hill 1 is not exactly super creative. I think it's called the float stinger because it floats and it stings you. Sort of like air screamers. They're in the air and they scream. It's not always that deep. Sanitario tiene quits. I tried searching that and now my phone is in Spanish. Your health, our care. Visit Alchemilla Hospital. Central Silent Hill, Kuntz Street. And it's even got a little map. Oh, and it's got the ambulance. The Silent Hill 1 ambulance ending confirmed. That's kind of funny. Little picture of the ambulance, a reference to Alchemilla Hospital. Drug facts. That looks like paracetamol. Oh, paracetamol. But that sounds very close to paracetamol, which is like a pain reliever. Oh, found a kitten. Just a photo of a kitten. What developer snuck in a picture of their kitten? Because I appreciate them. Some more old-timey photographs, likely public domain. Oh, and the Paleville Sanitarium. Referring to Oak Grove in Silent Hill Origins. So we're referencing all of the other like medical facilities in the town. We've got Alchemilla. We've seen newspapers and stuff for Brookhaven, and of course we go to Brookhaven. And then the sanitarium in Origins. For the treatment of disease by something psychological, including scientific. Creepy photo of a woman holding a baby. Fans casual. Fashion share. Fashion shine. 198, 1987. Oh, it's fashion since 1987. I'm glad you can read. Thank you, Rachel. I can't. Legitimately, though, my eyesight has been getting worse and worse, especially over the last couple of years. Supposedly, that can happen with some of the health issues that I've been having, like the low vitamin D, high blood pressure, can affect your eyesight. Need to get my eyes checked, get some glasses. Has this been going on the entire time? Just joined, but basically there's so many tiny details. This is the entire purpose of this playthrough. This is a Silent Hill 2 Remake cam hack playthrough. The whole point of this playthrough is taking a free cam and looking at all the details in the environment. We're on day 4 of doing this for about 3 hours a day, and we're not even to the apartments yet, like the first real area yet. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm NubZombie. I'm an obsessive Silent Hill fan. I've been streaming these games, heavily researching them, and sharing lore and in-depth story playthroughs, cam hack playthroughs, speed runs, basically anything you can think of for the last 10 years on Twitch. Is your medication safe? That's a legit question. As somebody who recently had to try out a bunch of different medications that definitely did not agree with me. Not all medication is good or good for you. Yeah, all of my streams are archived on YouTube as well. I'm on YouTube, just NubZombie. Yami, you should know better than anyone. There is no bot. There hasn't been a bot for like years. Alright, let's go. Right through Bar Neely's. Oh, some slightly different interiors on this car from some of the other ones we've looked at. It's got that like cracked. God, I can feel those seats in my brain. I used to have an old car. One of my first cars. It was like an old 1980s Buick. And it had these cracked leather seats and like red carpeting. And it was so miserable to be in. But hey, it was like my first car. I was just glad to be able to drive anywhere. Oh, a new Bible verse, I think. Did we get Corinthians before? Corinthians 6:06. Or would that be 66? Yeah, 60:6. No? There's Psalm. Is it just 6 and 6? Corinthians 6:6. But instead, one brother takes another to court, and this is in front of unbelievers. Oh, it could be 16. The 0 makes it weird. 16:6. Corinthians 16:6. And it may be that I will abide, yea, and winter with you, that ye may bring me on my journey whithersoever I go. Ephesians again, but I think this is a different verse than the ones we saw previously. Ephesians 4:32. No, we did see this one before. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another as God in Christ forgave you. Forgiveness. Forgive yourself, James. Or don't. It depends on the ending. Depends on the choices we make. Very old, faded license plate there. And, doesn't look like a Bible thing. There's a lot more of this car rendered than I thought there would be. Even all the, like, boards and the track for the garage door and all this stuff, like, rendered in here, even though you can't go in there. Kind of love just looking at all the car models and details of these little places that you normally can't really interact with or go inside of. Yeah, see, this empty garage doesn't even have, like, the track and stuff there. Got floating garbage can lid, dumpster lid, a piece of plywood, some random stuff just kind of hidden away in this unused building. Floating towel. Knocked over trees. Looks like they originally meant for it to be open and forgot to remove everything when they decided against it. Possibly. Maybe they needed to move those assets from somewhere else that is visible and they decided to just kind of temporarily throw it in an inaccessible area and just never removed it. Nothing hiding in the barrels. Same no trespassing sign that we've seen in some other buildings. Hey, Shadow Noises, welcome. So time is weird in Silent Hill, but is it ever stated how long James and Co. are actually in the town? No. Like, time and reality and all sort of sense of logic completely breaks down by the end of the game. Not even by the end of the game, by like the halfway point. It gradually becomes more and more intense, like how much the other world is sort of affecting reality and how much of James's delusion is essentially affecting what he sees and what we see as the player. But we don't really know exactly how long they've been here. License plate, no Bible verse on that one. I should say, we don't know how long they've been here unless you subscribe to the loop theory. And you take the mysterious photo Easter egg at face value, in which case they've been here for 2 decades. So somewhere between 24 hours and 20 years. Take your pick. And we do see, like, a considerable change of the character models as the game goes on. Like, more than just zooming in on their faces. But, like, you can see already, just compared to where we were at the start of the game, and we've got a little bit of blood on us and stuff now from taking damage. But as the game goes on, James's clothes get dirty. You can see we've still got the goop on our hands from when we interacted with the door in the Saul Street apartments. His shoes get more muddy and messed up. His clothes get messed up. His stubble grows out by the end of the game. Like, his facial hair is more grown. You can see his fucking eyeballs and teeth. The bags under his eyes get more distinct and dark, like he hasn't slept in a long time. He gets dirt actually under his fingernails. You can see at this point early in the game, like, his fingernails and stuff are still pretty clean. But by the end of the game, they're dirty and cracked and messed up. His face is more gaunt. So periodically we'll be checking out all the character models, specifically like James, since that's the easiest one to track and look at over the course of the game. Just to show all those little subtle changes to the models as time progresses. Just had the thought that I was thankful this game didn't have a day and night cycle, but then that led to how long they've been getting punished by the town. So, in terms of, like, game engine mechanics, I think it's the same as this in this game as it is in the original. So in the original Silent Hill 2, there is a day-night cycle. It's not as noticeable as it is in a lot of other games where you do have like a specific day and night, but it's brighter during the first part of the game up until you meet Maria. And then once you meet Maria in the original Silent Hill 2, if you just stand around and idle and let enough time pass, the sun starts to set and you can see the lighting change in the game engine. And that's for the PS2 game. I think they did something similar for this game, but I haven't actually checked or tested it myself. But like lighting and stuff does change over time in the OG. I would assume they also do that here. Yeah, it becomes dusk, but it never fully goes into night. The only time you see it fully go into night is the other world and like after Brookhaven. Yeah, I agree with that, G. It's more of giving the player a sense that time is passing rather than being an indicator of exactly how much time in reality has passed. Because again, reality is so distorted in Silent Hill, especially from James's perspective and our perspective as a player, that it's kind of a futile effort to make sense of it. Gozo's Sushi, sushi tempura, tamaki, and udon. Delivery car for the sushi restaurant that we saw. MTI, I'm assuming is not a Bible thing. Apparently it's in the Ministry Training Institute. I don't think that's what that is. Coincidental. All-terrain TA. I think that was most of the things. Cars and... Oh, we've seen the... I remember this one. PAD 155K license plate on some other car models. Some of the other junk cars. Then we have this car. So James, in the Silent Hill 2 remake, has a roamer. We actually looked at the little emblems and stuff on his car at the start of the game, at the observation deck, and his car is a roamer. And it's similar, but still kind of distinctly different from how James's car looks in the original Silent Hill 2. In the original Silent Hill 2, it was based on a 1977 Pontiac Ventura, And this this model right here, you got that sharp front of the hood with the flat double headlights like this. This is much more like the Ventura, the OG Silent Hill 2 James car. Kohi 206. Not a thing. Kohi is how you say coffee in Japanese. Kohi. But we do find the Woodside Apartments key. You can even see it like a label there on the jacket. Where we're going to pick that up. And the jacket itself is very, very much James's jacket. So we have like James's jacket next to OG Silent Hill 2 James's car. Fun little nods there. Oh, and there's some stuff inside. Cigarette butts. Wine bottles, some cans, bottle caps and lighters. Here's our other Lamentations license plate that we've already looked at. We're gonna have some lying figures spawn in and attack once we pick up that key. This is what triggers the windstorm. This whole area is like got the interior. Oh, there's even a lying figure hanging out over here. This is the Texan Cafe. This is the back room for the Texan, right next to the alleyway that we're about to run through. Broken basketball hoop. This imagery here, the like bloody stain on the ground and the basketball hoop, very reminiscent of Silent Hill 1, where you find a basketball hoop and the head of a dog underneath it, as though somebody had been playing basketball with a dog's head. A bit of creepy imagery, as well as a Wizard of Oz reference. Because you pick up a key in Silent Hill 1 in that basketball court area, and it's the Key of Woodman, which in most people know the film adaptation of Wizard of Oz, so that would be the Tin Man, but he's the woodman or the woodsman in the original book. And the Wicked Witch of the West sent a pack of wolves to kill Dorothy and her friends, And the Tin Man fought them off by decapitating them. So that's like a whole referential thing in Silent Hill 1. But just seeing the basketball court with the blood on the ground nearby. Very similar imagery. We get a little different perspective for this cutscene because I was zoomed out a bit more. And just like that, push those dumpsters out of the way like nothing. Just spawn these guys in right behind you. 3 lying figures. Although it does give you a nice look at the different lying figure models. Because there are several distinct versions of all of the enemies. So we have this one here, the zipper on the face. This one a little bit more close to the original Silent Hill 2 design. Almost an autopsy-like scar on the back. But then we have, yeah, this version. Again, autopsies do that similar Y scar or a V scar incision. Stitching on the front. Laces on the back. This one a lot more yellow and gross looking. Even the stitches are dirtier. The laces and stuff are like overlapped. Alright, see ya. And so that puts us right here by the Cafe Texan again. Curious. Okay, this lying figure is still in there. I was wondering if they teleported the one that I saw in there before triggering the event to be one of these. If they just move it. But no, they spawn in completely new ones. They look too clean, in your opinion, Chris Hansen? I agree. I'm not the biggest fan of the monster redesigns. I don't think they're bad, but I do prefer the look of the originals. And I talked about this in a previous part of the stream and one of the previous parts of this playthrough. But I think a lot of that has to do with the PlayStation 2 limitations. It blurred a lot of those textures naturally just because they're lower resolution, and at the time in 2001 people were pretty much only playing them on like a CRT TV, which further blurred those textures with pixelation. So it blended a lot of the elements of the enemy textures together. So the general feeling of them was a lot grosser, dirtier, and it was harder to distinguish like where flesh ended and things like stitches or laces or what could be interpreted as shoes. All of that was blended together, so it all felt like one continuous organic, texture. Whereas now we've got nice high resolution models that we can stop and look at, and you can really just tell a lot more definitively, like you can see the little straps and stuff, like those are definitely shoes, not just deformed feet. And I think that takes away a little bit from the creatures themselves. It's not the worst thing in terms of redesign, but it's one of those things that I think was better when it wasn't so clear to see. Free. That is a wonderful tag of a dog. Wonderful artwork. One of the best graffiti we've seen so far. I thought there was supposed to be one of the mail delivery trucks over here. It had like an ID badge in it. So we've looked at all the other ones. Apparently it's not here. Maybe it's after we exit the apartments. So, same paper that we've seen before. Woodside apartments severely flooded. Some world building as to why the apartments are in such a poor state when we go in and start exploring. Even beyond just being, James's perception of reality is not one-to-one. He's definitely still in a very deep delusion where what he's seeing, what we as the player is seeing, is not necessarily reality. Range lights, main news, but they also give little in-world things like these newspaper articles, somewhat explaining why the apartments are all trashed. Nothing rendered on the other side of the barricade. Oh, he's about to spit. Poor James is just standing there reading a note. Love how the world just keeps going while you're looking at notes and maps and stuff. Unless you open this inventory menu, and then everything just lets you read whatever you want. What are they? I shouldn't go through. I don't know why. I won't. They don't stink, but it feels like they do. No smell at all. So I mentioned this note in one of the previous parts of this playthrough. because there are times where James encounters things where he reacts as though there's a smell. He recoils from the smell of something that he has discovered, puts his hand over his nose and mouth. And I feel like that, in conjunction with this note, is how to distinguish certain times where you're experiencing something real versus something that is manifested. Because if it's a manifestation, and we go by what this note says, it looks like it should smell. It looks like it should stink, but it doesn't. No smell at all. So the times where we see James reacting to the smell of something, I believe it's something real, based on this note. Hey, Cosmic King, welcome. Texan Cafe, we gotta leave, meet me there. Just a little flyer in case you wandered over to the apartments before going and exploring the cafe and figuring out how to get the key from the other diner, from Bar Neely's rather. We get our glimpse of the past here, a reference to the original Silent Hill 2 trash chute, where you would drop canned juice in order to get a coin needed for a puzzle. We still have to do that, but it's not in the same location anymore. But I like that they include the original location with this little flashback here, just as a nod to something that was in the original that got changed. All the bricks. Even the way the walls look, the bricks and stuff look different. It's like they basically built an entire new woodside apartments over the old one. There. You can see the plywood. Oh. There's even a little bit of the interior rendered. Yeah, like the front lobby area. Even before you go in, a lot of games, you just separate this. You treat the door as like a transition area, and you don't render anything until you cut to the next area, and then render everything in. But they actually have this even before you go in. First little part here. All the way back to the bathroom, all of this is rendered in? Doesn't go further than that hallway there. And this doesn't go out to the sort of like middle area where the new trash chute is. But all this is rendered. The coin puzzle. Oh. Yeah, this is all rendered in before you even enter the building. That's pretty surprising. can even see the key that you get for solving it in the drawer, hidden behind the coin puzzle itself. Oh, and look at that. You can see the writing, because as you solve each part of this, it like rotates to the next portion of it to solve. So you can see like the physical object actually rotates with all the writing and everything there. This is stuff that for a lot of games, like you can sort of cheat how to achieve that effect visually, but they actually have it rendered sort of practically. So now that we've used the key and opened the door, let's take another look. Okay, this side's still not rendered. I'm trying to see at what point. There's James peeking in. Okay, now that we're actually in the apartments, still not fully rendered everything. Interesting. There's the loading. Okay, so the loading icon there at the bottom right. Now everything is here. Well, not everything. Okay, so it loads in part of this. We've got some of the geometry for the area, but not the actual details and textures. Now, if I like run over here, I assume this will render. Yeah, now it's here. And even the lying figures out here in the pool. You can look at the coin. There's the snake coin with the OG Silent Hill 2 Easter egg still imprinted around it. For those who don't know, these coins, they're the exact same or very, very similar designs to the coins in the original Silent Hill 2. And the writing around the coin is an Easter egg. It was a message made by item designer Eiichi Ito. What they did was basically translate Japanese to English and then type it out using a font called symbol font. It looks like Greek characters because it's a font that uses Greek characters, but it's not a font meant for typing in Greek. It's meant for like mathematics and equations that use Greek characters. But they would translate, Eiichi Ito would translate messages from English to Japanese and then type them out in symbol font and hid messages on the coins in the original Silent Hill 2. So if you start from right here and go around clockwise, this reads out Tugiha, which is a slight mistranslation of tsugiwa. So in Japanese, tsu, the character su, TSU, can also be written as tu or just TU. And the character for wa can also be written out as ha. So this is a common mistranslation when you're taking things from English or from Japanese to English. So this is meant to be tsugiwa, which is a Japanese word or phrase basically meaning up next is. It usually prefaces a list of things. If you're ever on like a train in Japan and the next stop is being announced on the intercom, they'll usually say tsugiwa, like up next is, the next stop is. And then this is a list of names. The first name, Eiichi, which is a reference to Eiichi Ito, the item designer for the original Silent Hill 2. Toshiko, Rinta, Asuma, and Zate. Not sure who the other names are, possibly just other developers or friends or family of Eiichi Ito. But yeah, this is all the exact same Easter egg on the original coins in the original Silent Hill 2. So, cool attention to detail that Bloober would keep that for the remake. I love the green and gold Silent Hill maps, the font, and then the map itself. This is the OG Silent Hill 2 map because the town layout and everything is different for the remake. They moved things around a little bit and kind of shifted some locations and positions of buildings and things like that. So this is the actual original Silent Hill 2 map rather than the remake map. Right down to the same font and which buildings are labeled. Really, really cool attention to detail. I love all the little references and nods. Woodside Apartments. The gate is open from 8 a.m. till 7 p.m. Outside those hours, request assistance at the reception. Oh, there's one of those folding bikes. It's actually like partly folded. These were apparently more common in Poland and Europe. Bloober Team is a Polish studio, so a lot of the assets and things that you find are inspired from things that are more common for them that sort of stand out to Native Americans like myself. Not Native Americans, like, you know what I mean. People from America, from the United States. Promise I know how to talk. Hey, Sasam. Some of the same graffiti we've seen on the walls. Same thing over here on the basketball hoop. All right. Lots of stuff. Whole new area. All sorts of new things to find and look at. I should have looked at this when I first zoomed in on it. I was like, I'll wait until everything is loaded in. And now that everything is loaded in, the lighting is also loaded in, which makes it too dark to read now. That's okay. We'll get the flashlight soon. And that's going to really help with looking at a lot of things with the free cam. Bicycle for sale. Used bike in good condition, recently serviced. Serious offers only. Fabian. Doesn't look like one of the folding bikes. Different kind of bike. Notice of scheduled maintenance. Dear Woodside tenants, due to something, we are conducting maintenance on the entire building. Thing always on the trash chute, which has become something not to be used. I think we can read this one. Whoa. Here's our side apartment map. Oh no, we can't. I feel like I remember reading a similar note. Maybe we do get one that lets us examine it later. But it mentions the maintenance, the trash chute, not being used until something. We apologize for any inconvenience, building management. Summer jobs. Fair pay. And something work. Ages 14 to 17. Silent Hill Ranch. June 1st to July 31st. Call for more info. A summer job at Silent Hill Ranch. Community yard sale, Sunday, January 28th. 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., rain or shine. Location, Old Silent Hill, Midwich Elementary School parking lot. Here you go. Community yard sale at Midwich Elementary. Of course, that's the infamous elementary school in Silent Hill 1 where Alessa Gillespie attended. Rules and regulations for Woodside Apartments, noise and conduct. Animals. Something lost. Lost a diamond ring. Went missing near Rosewater Park. Cash reward there at the bottom. Can't quite make out. It says there. A missing diamond ring near Rosewater Park. I love all the little references to town locations and stuff. This becomes a recurring thing all throughout the game. When you're at the observation deck at the very start of the game, there is the word welcome written out on the fence that blocks the road. And some of the letters have fallen off. When you first enter the apartments, we have this graffiti that says welcome. Basically, every single area that James visits throughout this entire game, there is usually something along the lines of welcome or welcome back. It's like the town is literally welcoming him back, as this is his first time back to the town since his vacation with Mary. And in some ways, it's also sort of welcoming players back to these familiar places after so many years since playing the original. Take a look around the office. Another CRT model that we haven't seen yet. Book of receipts. The radiology book we've seen in a few other locations, although we haven't seen the cover of it like this yet. Just the spine of it with the title. Invoices January. Trash can in the files there. Bills payable. 305. August medical expenses. We saw medical expenses on some other filing cabinets and things like that. Work boots. Some size 9.5. Made in Vietnam. How many? Look at the details on these random work boots just sitting in the environment. They even have the tag inside. Made in Vietnam with all the different UK, European, US size chart. Like what size they are. Crazy. Crazy amount of detail in these little background assets. Some finest old Polish whiskey for the 100th time. Lots of bottles of that around, apparently. Bunch of people in Silent Hill really like their Polish whiskey. Or at the very least, some Bloober employees. Oh, here we go. Vacuum cleaner 666 made in hell. The cleaning Lux. Got a skull on it. A bull skull with edge brushing. Picture of the Historical Society. We saw that one. Same with the old-timey photo there. Likely a real photo, public domain photo. It's been edited. Another clock with 10 past 9. A reference to the OG Silent Hill 2 clock puzzle. Any letters? Any magic envelopes that we can read? Opinions and facts. That's another little newspaper clip we saw. Love the music here. This is where some pictures were at some point. Very faded. A Magarox. It's not a Magnavox. You got the knockoff. Got the knockoff Magarox TV. God, I used to have one just like this. With the, like, wood paneling on the sides. That design. Of course, you gotta have the rabbit ears antenna on top. The Shirk Corporation. Warsaw. Get an actual model number for the TV. There's some trivia. Some obscure Silent Hill trivia. What model is this TV? Manufactured May 1989. Some more years given. Made in Poland. Just like Silent Hill 2 Remake. Bloober just putting in as many references to Poland as they can. And then there's Lorem Ipsum. The classic placeholder text. Good old Lorem Ipsum. Commonly used by, like, programmers and designers as a placeholder for things that need text. The New Damnation. Saw that book in another location already. Just seeing if we have any different covers or titles here. Deer statue. Gotta have your bronze deer statue. Pill bottles. No labels. Same for the alcohol bottles. Same newspapers that we've seen around. I still want to check all the newspapers, even though right now they're pretty much repeating a lot. I know for a fact at some point we'll start seeing some different ones that have some more interesting text on them. Another old Polish whiskey. Mr. X, there is no definitive, officially confirmed time where this game takes place. If you go by Masahiro Ito, and what he has said on Twitter, he said that when they were designing Silent Hill 2, that the aesthetic was based on the 70s and 80s, but not meant to be a specific year. If you go by some of the technology that's in the game, VCRs and camcorders and things like that exist, and compare it to when those things released in our actual reality, it would have to be sometime in the later 80s or 90s. In this game specifically, just in the remake, there was newspapers that say, like, there was a memorial for Joe DiMaggio's death and things that say 1999. So, like, it is specifically and deliberately vague. Just like this nutto tone. Good old nutto tone intercom system. But yeah, other assets that we've looked at in this game earlier on have years as far up as 1999. So there was never any specific deliberate date given for the original Silent Hill games. And this one, being a remake made after all of the others, sort of takes all of those fan theories and stuff into consideration and references them all without specifically naming any one of them as being accurate. There we go. We've got our coin puzzle, our remake version of the coin puzzle. We'll find the original Silent Hill 2 coin puzzle destroyed in one of the apartment rooms a little bit later on, as a little throwback reference to what this puzzle was in the OG. One thing to consider is that anything lying around the abandoned town with a date on it could have been sitting for an unknown amount of years without being touched. Another thing to consider on top of that, Kabi-sama, is we are not seeing the town as it actually is. We're seeing it through James's eyes. We're seeing his distorted, delusional version of reality. It might not even be abandoned. It might not have all of this rotting, torn up, messed up aesthetic in reality. That might just be how we are perceiving it, how James is perceiving it. So nothing can be taken at face value. Just because you see something with a date on it, or you see something that looks old and abandoned, it's all nonsense. It's all false delusion, perception of reality. It's meant to be deliberately vague and nondescript. I do like that we can see the top part of the coin puzzle this way. We can see some of the next lines when it rotates to the next part of the puzzle after you solve the first bit. But yeah, I say this as a Silent Hill fan since 1999 who has spent the better portion of my life since then researching these games very, very thoroughly and heavily, playing them, looking at every little reference, every little detail, reading every interview by every developer, every magazine article. As that type of obsessive fan for the last 25 years, don't try to make a timeline. You are wasting your time. You can place events a certain time frame from each other. Silent Hill 3 is 17 years after Silent Hill 1. But if you're trying to place a specific year to Silent Hill 1 or Silent Hill 3, Silent Hill 2, like, you're not going to arrive at a conclusive, definitive answer. You just won't. It wasn't intended by the developers for there to even be one. To hell. This was also in the original Silent Hill 2. They've changed up most of the graffiti to be unique for the remake, but to hell with the arrow pointing towards doors, certain doors, that was in the original. Level. Or love. No, it's level. Some unique mailbox assets here. We've seen a couple other buildings with mailboxes and stuff that were just repeated assets, reused assets and textures. These are all unique, though. A health drink hiding over here. Dear Madam, in response to your complaint regarding the gunshots coming from apartment 217, we have paid a visit to the tenant and he assured us that he does not own any firearms. He was fully cooperative and granted us access to the apartment. True to his words, we did not find any weapons or traces of using one. Should the noises persist, please inform the janitor. Sincerely, Woodside Apartments Administration. I really kind of like the implication of this note and that apartment, because that's where we pick up the handgun. That apartment is full of bullet holes, and there is a cool little I don't know if you'd call it an Easter egg. There's a neat mechanic in that room that I'll definitely explain once we get there. If you've seen my previous story playthroughs on YouTube, you already know about it, but there's some really cool stuff with the handgun room. A secret event? Yeah, Kabi-sama. It's a good way to describe it. An optional secret event. Something that not everybody is going to interact with things in a certain way to see it. But the implications of it are pretty neat. Some more graffiti that was in the original Silent Hill 2 in the apartments. Heavy Viper. Heavy Viper itself is a variation of the Vic Viper from Konami's Gradius series. So this is also a little Konami game series nod. Sidaluni. Sidaluni. Welcome back. Thank you so much for the 39 months. Thank you so much, CD. We've already seen this in some other places, but here it is again. This green spray can down here. If you zoom way in on it with the free cam, this is the hyper spray. This was one of the unlockable New Game Plus weapons in the original Silent Hill 2. It's unfortunately not a usable thing in the remake, but this was one of the most powerful New Game Plus weapons you could get. And even the green color of the paint coming off of it, the hyper spray, was different colors depending on your previous ranking on the previous playthrough that unlocked New Game Plus. So if you got a full perfect 10-star ranking in the original Silent Hill 2, your New Game Plus file would have green hyperspray, indicating that it was the strongest version of the hyperspray. So, very fun, very cool little nod there. Even though it's a shame we don't get usable hyperspray. Bunch of cans and things here. Gotta check inside every can as we go to see if there is canned light bulbs. Imperium paint. No bulbs. No light bulbs. With how many other really subtle references there are in assets and details in this game, I find it very hard to believe that Bloober Team would not have some kind of reference to the canned light bulbs, because they completely removed that puzzle from the remake. There's like no reference or mention of it in the normal gameplay. But I feel like they've paid way too close attention and included references to way too many other things to leave something like that out. Kind of want to... Yeah, so window overlooking the pool area. But also I just kind of want... There we go, a nice creepy shot of James looking out the window from this perspective. We're gonna find that can. I really sincerely hope we do. I really hope we get some canned light bulbs, and I would like a Minmo reference. There's a lot of animal posters and stuff that you find around the town, I'd be surprised if there's also not a Minmo reference from Silent Hill 3. Maybe they're saving that for the Silent Hill 3 remake. But canned light bulbs, come on. That's gotta be here somewhere. Also, these mannequins. It can be hard to tell just looking at them normally, but zooming in and looking at it up close, that is absolutely Salome Gunner's daughter's face and profile. Like, that's Mary slash Maria. That is her face. She's got those very distinctive cheekbones and chin and pursed lips. Like, that is Salome. That is Mary. Considering what room this is, we have the mannequin where we get the flashlight and it's wearing Mary's clothing. But the mannequins now having that face, that's for sure Mary's face. Yeah. All of them have the same thing, same model. Also see the mannequin creature folded up, trying to hide over here in the darkness. Kind of just want some good shots from this game too, as like 80% of this playthrough is just focusing on finding little secrets and looking at details with the cam hack. But I also like spending a little bit of time using it as kind of like a photo mode, since this game doesn't have one natively. Just to get some cool shots. Hey, Devin. Glad you're enjoying the cam hack playthrough so far. I hope you guys are having as much fun with this as I am. I know there's a lot of people out there who think this is the absolute most boring thing in the world. They're just like, just play the fucking game, dickhead. But this is the stuff that fascinates me. I have such an appreciation for the artistry that goes into making these environments, these character models, all the details. Same pattern here on the walls that we saw on the curtains in the house where we picked up the radio. Got like a very distinctive floral, this red and green floral pattern on them. We start seeing that pattern a bit more. Flashlight. Oh, that's a creepy shot. The lighting from the flashlight as James is holding it, but it's not actually like illuminating his face. And then a mannequin jumps out. Surprise! Our first look at the mannequin. At least one variation. We're going to see several variations, just like the lying figures, just like every other creature. They're not all exactly the same. The wrapped up legs. The little stumps on the arm legs, top legs, whatever you would call it. Come on, James. Quit posing. Just put the chainsaw away. We're very close to getting the handgun so that I can make James put the damn chainsaw away much easier. Don't have to just wait for him to do it on his own. James comments on the clothing. Once you examine it, he doesn't get too specific because his mind is still... his mind is still going through this delusion. He's not admitting certain things to himself. He's not accepting certain aspects of reality around him. But you can see from the photo of Mary, those are her clothes. Same thing as in the original. All these subtle and not so subtle hints towards James that he needs to remember Mary, remember the truth of his past with her and what he's done before coming to the town. There's the inside of James's head. Blech. There's the chute key. See it in the drawer before we open it and pick it up. Cool stuff. And the sewing machine is a sister. It's not a singer. It's a sister. Serious, like, industrial sewing machine, too. I actually had to sew something, not with a machine, I did it by hand. I had to sew something for the first time in like 18 years, 17 years, something like that. When I was younger, I used to do cosplay and do anime conventions all the time. Like practically every month would be a different convention somewhere. So I did a lot of cosplay and learned to sew and make costumes and props and stuff. Skills that I have not really had to use in a very long time. And my wife Rachel has a headset where the padding on the ear came off. I'm proud of myself. I managed to hand sew it back together because we can't really afford replacements and stuff right now. If Xander were here, he could tell you exactly what machine that's modeled after. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. You'll have to show Xander this part of the VOD so that I can know exactly what this is for my notes. I've actually already had some awesome people, a lot of people who are watching these as they go up on YouTube. I've been leaving some comments clarifying some of the stuff that I've looked at. One person gave the model number for one of the turntables that was in the Groovy Music store. So that kind of stuff, I love it. If you're out there and you watch this and you recognize in greater detail than me some of the things that we're looking at, please let me know. Share it. Let me know in our Discord. Let me know in the YouTube comments. However you can, because I appreciate that stuff. Even the most seemingly mundane or minute details. Trust me, that's what I'm all about. I love learning that kind of stuff. We have a light bulb. Light bulbs exist in Silent Hill 2 Remake. It's not in a can, it's just in a lighting fixture, but we have confirmation. Light bulbs exist in this world. They better show up in a can. Chaos Joe, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Room 201. This specific room, we'll get to it. I mean, we can just clip right in there and look at it now. Why not? Why not? We don't have to do things in order. This is a cam hack playthrough. We can just clip through. Because this is one of the more interesting rooms in all of the apartments. Because this particular apartment is a recreation of James and Mary's house. Now, remember, things are not meant to be taken literally in this sense. James and Mary didn't live in Silent Hill. They went there once, very briefly for vacation, and then never again until James comes back for this game. But James and Mary did have a home together, and James subconsciously, of course, remembers that home, that life with Mary, and is projecting it into reality around him. This is where Mary died. This was their room. You see it in the endings where James picks up her body. There's photos of them on the wall. They're very smudged. You can see James's boots and Mary's shoes. The bottom part of Mary's dress. Outline of where their faces are. Yeah, you can even see him through all the stuff smeared on it. But there is James and Mary standing together. And a larger outdoor shot of the Lakeview Hotel. Where they stayed during their vacation. But this is a great detail, having their home recreated as one of the apartment buildings. Some artwork that likely is actual artwork. We've already seen some other places where real artwork has been used. I'm not particularly familiar with a lot of artists and artwork where I'd recognize it by looking. A lot of this stuff I have to reverse image search when I'm putting my notes and things together. Like, there's not too many places where I want to, like, clip through and out of bounds and, like, sequence break things. But some situations, like interesting rooms like that, still want to do that. Oh, I've got my flashlight so I can see some of these notes and things better now. Community yard sale. This was the same as the one over there. Okay. The parking lot in Midwich Elementary School. Vendors interested in participating should submit application along with payment no later than Friday, January 19th. Somebody who lost the diamond ring in Rosewater Park. Dude, all these little details and bits of world building that you can't even read or look at normally. Like, the amount of detail really is super impressive. Whether you love this game or hate this game or you're somewhere in the middle, just from a sheer art, like, appreciation of the artwork and the attention to detail in these environments, like, they are so damn good. Nothing in the lockers rendered. Nothing hiding in the mop bucket. No labels on the cleaning supplies. For this one, can't get a good look at. And still can't really read it. Spare toilet paper rolls. Reused toilet asset with, like, the cigarette butts in the bottom. We saw that in some other houses and the Saul Street apartments. Can't get there yet. We can go out here. Warning, garbage chute out of order. Please do not use until problem is resolved. That's the note that you can read. I knew there was one that you could read that mentions the garbage chute. I thought it was the one on the notice board, the entryway, but no, it's this one. You can actually see the garbage bag that's stuck there. We go up the garbage chute all the way. Even stuff that you can't see from the outside. Is that the canned juice? I'm pretty sure that's the canned juice. It's like an old rusted version of it compared to the one that we find. Little reference to OG Silent Hill 2. Someone tried to unblock it with canned juice and it wasn't enough. That's interesting that that's like hidden up here. Yeah. Especially because that puzzle is still here in the remake. Like, the locations for things are a little bit shifted around, but you still do the same thing. You pick up the case of canned juice and drop it in the garbage chute to dislodge everything. Although that does happen here. So what that might be is just a low poly version. Oh, it's not even. The lighting actually managed to hit it there. You can see it's the Blood Apple 6-pack. So this is more of a game thing, game design thing, rather than like out of bounds Easter egg. So you find the canned juice later on the upper floors and then drop it through the chute, and there's an animation. It does a little cutscene where you see the garbage falling all the way through. So there's a separate model. You have the one that you pick up and you drop in the chute, and then you have this one ready to go when all of this stuff comes out as part of the animation, the little cutscene, once you solve it. But still cool to see that that's like physically in there, rendered already. You can also see a little bit inside these movable, climbable carts. Oh, we also have the tiny creepers, the roaches. There's a few situations where there's roaches that are crawling around on trash and stuff that you can examine. And they are the creeper enemies, just scaled way, way down to be tiny, to be like normal roach sized. Ooh. They are fast. It's crawling around on everything. And they react to your flashlight. They move away from where you're shining your light. Which strikes me as odd that they would go through the trouble of making that effect. But in the moth room, in the original Silent Hill 2, there's moths flying around in the moth room that are attracted to your flashlight. So when you turn your light on, they'll fly towards you. When you turn your light off, they disperse. But in the remake, the moths don't react to your light at all. It's kind of interesting that they'll do an effect for the little roaches, the creepers, but not the moths. Yard sale. Cluttered house, cluttered mind. Get rid of unnecessary baggage. Forget about the mess. Bring everything and anything. Saturday, June 12th, 11 a.m., 3 p.m. Yeah, James, get rid of that baggage. Why don't you? And again, just kind of a fun opportunity. Some cool camera shots. Looking at James, the garbage chute area from way up here. Even seeing some of these areas. Most of them are not going to be rendered. Some of these rooms we can go into. Low poly chairs. Broken atomics stove. Okay. I know I said I wasn't going to sequence break stuff too much, but I just remembered there's something right over here that I wanted to test. So we might as well do it right now. So once you exit Woodside Apartments, you go through all the courtyard and do everything here. You fight Pyramid Head. You exit from, well, it's not even rendered, but you exit from over here on that side of the apartments, and you walk right by the gate for Woodside Apartments on this side. And this is the alleyway leading over towards where you meet Laura. Surprisingly, this is all like rendered too. No lighting once you go past that point, but yeah, there's the wall where you meet Laura. And everything, that's all like right outside this part. So, I am curious what happens if you were to just exit Woodside Apartments right here. Go meet Laura. Not promising that things are already... don't think the game liked that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going back. I'm sorry. Oh, that's interesting. It like unloaded. Oh, I'm in the ground. It like unloaded all of this. Okay. Now I know. You cannot just clip through that fence and skip Woodside Apartments. Even though that's where you wind up. Speedrun science. I mean, this is also a very good tool for testing some of that stuff in terms of speedruns, because there are several methods for clipping and skipping things in the speedrun. Got another Monsterizer brand blender hiding up here. We saw those earlier in an earlier part of the playthrough, but yeah, this is a good tool for kind of testing some of that speedrun stuff. You can skip some things. There's a lot of stuff that surprisingly, if you can clip through it or go out of bounds in a certain way, you can still progress even after you break the sequence of events. But not everything, as we just saw. Not everything will let you just kind of go where you want. Locaine siblings. Murder. Perpetrator commits suicide in custody. So this is our Walter Sullivan note. This was in the original Silent Hill 2 as well. It's a little bit rewritten for the remake, but more or less the same. The Silent Hill Herald. Locaine siblings murder. Perpetrator commits suicide in custody. Walter Sullivan, the culprit in a recent homicide case, was found dead, having taken his own life on the morning of the 22nd in his jail cell. According to the police statement, Sullivan's death was caused by blood loss resulting from severing his carotid artery with a soup spoon buried 2 inches in his neck. Sullivan was apprehended on the 18th of this month on account of brutally murdering Billy and Miriam Locaine. Even though Walter Sullivan did not strike a former schoolmate from his hometown of Pleasant River as someone capable of murdering children, the schoolmate admits to having witnessed Sullivan in a state of severe paranoia shortly before his arrest. He was blurting out all sorts of strange stuff, like, "He's trying to kill me, he's trying to punish me, the monster, the red devil, forgive me, I did it, but it wasn't me," he recounts. "I guess now that I think of it, he was kinda crazy," the schoolmate concludes. That's from the original Silent Hill 2. That is what Masashi Tsuboyama expanded upon when writing the scenario for Silent Hill 4 a couple years later. Cleaning house, some newspapers and things that we've seen elsewhere. Just want to check them, see if there's anything new or different. But doesn't look like it. Some books and things on the shelf. New Damnation. Another copy of New Damnation. One of the same books and things we've seen. Alright. Quit setting off my radio. Trying to look at stuff. Inconsiderate monsters. Nothing rendered. come on, James. Please. Please. Just lock on and hit the thing with the chainsaw. Lord. Yeah, and then sit there and pose like you did something. Chainsaw kind of sucks, not gonna lie. It's not just the chainsaw. Combat kind of sucks, not gonna lie. I said that there are things in the remake, like this is not a perfect game. I think Bloober did a great job, considering this is one of the hardest psychological horror games, because it's just a masterpiece. It's a difficult thing to remake in a faithful and fresh and impressive way. I think they still managed to do that overall, but combat in this game fucking sucks. Even if you compare it to like combat in the original at least lock-on works. Changing targets from one enemy to the next when you're fighting multiple enemies in the original works. That shit don't work in this game, except when it feels like it. Combat is rough. Now, Bloober Team has never really done... Yeah, exactly, Sasam. Bloober Team has never really done combat in their games. Pretty much all their games are walking simulators. So, this is their first time really trying to do combat. And I mean, it's... For a studio that's never really done that kind of thing, it's fine. And combat is not the most important thing in a Silent Hill game anyway. Definitely not to me. Like, the story, the characters, the atmosphere, the music, sound, pretty much everything else is more important to me than the combat. The combat's very, very low on my list of, like, things I care about in a Silent Hill game. So it's not like it ruins the game or the experience for me. But there are definitely times where I'm just like, please, just do the thing. I'm looking at the enemy. I'm clicking the button. Please just kill it. Please. Nothing hiding in the boxes or duffel bags. Unrendered room. Same newspapers. Another clock at 10 past 9. Thing rendered in the freezer. Ten is unrendered. Text there, but not readable. See if Laura's hiding over here. There's the key that we're going to try to pick up. Here's the room where Laura comes from. Surprisingly, a lot of it's already rendered in. Let's try teleporting over here. And now what, Laura? Actually, I wonder how this works. This might break stuff, potentially. But normally, you're supposed to be on that side of the bars, reach through to grab the key, and that triggers the Laura cutscene, where she kicks it away and steps on his hand. What happens if I'm clipped through the bars and I pick it up here? Ah, it still triggers it. Okay. Baka. Kuso. All right. And it puts me back on this side after the cutscene. Was curious how the game would handle that. Just triggers it all normally as though you were still reaching for it from here. Cool to know. Just in case I do wind up breaking something, I do want to make another save before we go chasing after Laura that way. And it is actually about that time for me to be wrapping up, and since we're right here at a save point, I need to go make dinner. So this is where I'm going to call it for right now. But thank you everybody so much for coming by, hanging out, enjoying the stream. Really, really appreciate everyone coming by and just enjoying what I do. As said, I know there's a lot of people out there who would think this is some of the most boring shit in the world, but it fascinates me. It's one of my favorite things to do with the Silent Hill games. I love just exploring them and looking at all the textures and models and everything in great detail, so I'm having a good time going through this. I hope you guys are all enjoying the playthrough. I will be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be continuing the playthrough, going through Woodside Apartments, chasing after Laura, seeing how the game handles these sequence breaks, and hopefully find some more details, maybe even some light bulbs in cans. Who knows? But this is going to be a very long series of playthroughs. It's going to take a good while before we get through the game at the pace that I go, looking at everything. But if you're curious to catch up on the previous parts of this playthrough and see all the things that we've discovered thus far, definitely check out my YouTube. I'm just at NubZombie, same as I am here on Twitch. You can find me on YouTube. All of these usually go up the following night or following morning whenever I can get around to editing and uploading. So I've also got an archive channel where I just throw the whole stream up raw with no edits. That usually goes up the same night, just a few hours after the stream ends. But yeah, that's it for me though. I gotta go cook dinner for me and my wife. So Till tomorrow, be good to each other. Much love and peace.